guys, the three most powerful ways to lose fat fast without counting calories or exercising every single day of the week is basically by skipping breakfast. And I know that you've heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but I'm going to talk to you about why it's the worst meal of the day. The other thing is I'm going to teach you and talk to you about how to boost this hormone that increases metabolism, that burns fat without actually trying. And the third way to boost weight loss very rapidly is when to drink water to boost weight loss up to 44%. So I know what you've been told is breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and this is what the food companies want you to believe simply because they want to sell food, but it's actually the worst, and I'll tell you why. There are three functions, or what we call biorhythms, that the body goes through. It goes through digestion, assimilation, and also detoxification every single day, 24 hours a day. So the first is basically digestion. So that happens from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. pretty much, on average, the average person. And from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m., the body's breaking down that food to digest it and also put it in the form of nutrients for muscle building and so on and so forth, replenishing cells. And the third is basically detoxification, which happens anywhere from 4 a.m. to about 12 noon that day. So here's why skipping breakfast makes perfect sense. So every time that we wake up in that hour of 4 a.m. to 12, and we cut the detoxification short by waking up and eating, especially a protein-based, sugar-based, carbohydrate-based, or starchy types of foods, it stops detoxification and it goes back to digestion. So what does all those toxins do? They store up and build up in your fat cells. So it's not a good idea to eat breakfast in the morning because you don't want to stop that detoxification process. So the best way is, instead of eating, replace your food with water to help boost metabolism as well as detoxify the body, because if you don't, it builds up over time, and unfortunately, if the body doesn't get a chance to detoxify, it builds up in your fat cells no matter how many calories you count, miles you run, or salads that you eat. The other reason why you don't want to eat breakfast or skip breakfast is simply because, as I said, when you eat a carbohydrate-based food, sugary-based food, or a protein-based food, not only does the body stop going into detoxification and digestion, basically what happens is it releases insulin. Now, insulin essentially is a fat storing hormone. It takes blood sugars down. And when it takes that blood sugar down, it basically stores it into reserves or muscle cells, fat cells, and so on and so forth. But the problem with insulin is once it's released in the body, your body will go into fat storage no matter what you eat, how many exercises you do, for approximately 7 hours. The reason why 7 hours is simply because all our hormones in our bodies, they're little chemical messengers. They tell our body what to do from every function, from breathing, heart rate, and warmth. So basically what happens is, once this hormone is released, it has basically an effective level or efficiency level for a certain period of time. So for an example, when you release, or when someone scares you, you release adrenaline. And adrenaline will last about 5 to 10 minutes. However, on the other spectrum of that is estrogen. So when estrogen is detected in the body, it will stay in the body up to 6 months effectiveness. And with insulin, as I said, it's up to 7 hours. So the only way to actually burn fat is to keep your pie hole shut, or when you're sleeping, or extend your fast from sleeping, which is basically fasting, to skip breakfast. And this would be the best methodology to burn more of those reserves. And the third reason to skip breakfast is essentially your body takes an enormous amount of energy and blood supply to digest. In fact, it takes about 80% of our life force just to digest food, especially if it's a flesh-based food like steak. Steak takes about anywhere from 60 to 72 hours just to process out of your body. So it's an enormous amount of energy. And so when you skip breakfast, the body does what? It heals itself. And the fourth reason to skip breakfast is when you extend your fast period from sleeping, which is basically anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, your body is fasting. And the benefit is that during that period where you're not eating, the body has to reserve or use fuel from stored sources. And these are your belly fat, your love handles, your thighs, buttocks, and such. So the longer you extend that period, the more the body will actually go to these reserves, which is glucose reserves, and it's a process called glycogen. So this is the most effective way to essentially burn fat faster. Most importantly, the reason why you want to skip breakfast is because the longer your body goes without eating, the more of this hormone that's released, which basically is responsible for boosting metabolism and overall rejuvenation. And this hormone is called HGH, which is our human growth hormone. Now, when we're younger, we get a lot of this. In fact, as we age in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, this particular hormone actually decreases in the secretion, and this is what accelerates aging. So the longer you go without eating or fast periods by skipping your breakfast, the more of this hormone is released. And this hormone basically boosts metabolism and reverses premature aging and actually slows the aging process down. The longer you go, and if you can extend your fast and extend your breakfast to lunch, the more of this hormone is released, the more of the benefit you're going to get on anti-aging and overall muscle building. This hormone is responsible, and it's also called our bodybuilding hormone. The other thing is that this hormone will boost metabolism, as I said before. So the longer periods of time you go of not eating, the more of this hormone is released. Now, there's a way to actually increase the release of this. It's called biohacking, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. It's called combining intermittent fasting, which you're doing by skipping your breakfast and going without, and also exercising at the time when you're at your hungriest peak. So what I want you to do to boost this hormone up to 2,000% is I want you to do high intensity boost training. So high intensity training is simply, for an example, of sprinting as fast as you can for 30 to 60 seconds. Now, sprinting on a treadmill is fine. If you are of older age and you can't sprint, then do low impact type of exercises, which is basically running in place, cycling, Soul Cycle, or perhaps swimming or something of that nature, or a Stairmaster, and go super fast. And I'll tell you the biology behind this and the science fact of how to boost this hormone. So our hunter-gatherer ancestors, they typically didn't eat for 3 to 4 days. And when they did see food, a bird or a bison, they would basically run like hell to go kill that food because their body was at their most starving state. And this hormone was at its peak simply because it wanted to have that hunter be as efficient as possible. Not only mental acuity goes through the roof, but as well as strength and overall building muscle mass and development. So this is the effectiveness in how to do that. Now, what I want you to do is I want you, after that 60-second burst training, I want you to stop and rest. And I want you to catch your breath. The reason why this is essential for boosting that hormone, HGH, is simply because that when you rest, it's also biologically proving to your body, hey, I tried to hunt, I failed, so the body makes a call to the adrenal glands and produces more of this hormone, freaking out that you're not going to eat. So the body freaks out because you haven't eaten, and when you fail, and you do this 3 to 4 times in a row, and I want you to start slow. Again, just do it once or twice the first time out, and then build your way out every time you're at your peak of fasting. Now, fasting should be done probably once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week at your own comfort level. And again, check with your doctor first before you apply any of these methodologies to see if your heart is in a good condition to do so. And last but not least is when to drink water to boost metabolism and flush out fast up to 44% faster than any other time is right before, or 40 minutes, 30 minutes before you actually eat your meals. The reason for that is because most of the time that the reason why we have hunger pains is because we're dehydrated. So I want you to keep that in mind. But the most effective time to boost weight loss up to 44% and burn or lose approximately 1.78 pounds per month, that's basically 14, 15 pounds a year, by practicing this one thing and combining it with intermittent boost training, skipping breakfast, is drinking 1 glass of water 30 to 40 minutes before every meal. The reason for that is it fills us up, it hydrates us, and it also prevents us from overeating. So there you have it, the 3 most powerful ways that you can actually boost weight loss without counting calories or exercising until your legs come off. So if you want more tips and tricks in biohacking and actually lose weight the easy way and turn weight loss resistance into weight loss results, follow me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel under toxic-free diet. I hope I've been helpful. Have a blessed day. Thank you again, and we'll see you in our next video.